everybody. Welcome back to the Guy Dawson Show here at WCOBM.com. Make sure to watch us live there, and we are also on YouTube and Facebook, so make sure to subscribe and like our pages and watch us there as well. My name is Carintha Turvalon. I am the main host for Guy Dawson today as he is out of town, and it's my great pleasure to introduce Stretch Sanders of All Shades United.
Right. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. How are you doing today, Stretch?
Good. And yourself?
Doing good. Doing good. We kind of ran over here from the parking lot, so we're a little flushed. That's why. So let's jump right into it. So I know that you have your organization, All Shades United. How did you get that started here in Las Vegas?
So in 2014, June 14th of 2014, I was 19 years old, coming from Chicago, which is a city that's impacted and just grown with activism. I felt like I was missing out. I'm in Las Vegas. Where's the movements, all these protests in other cities? Where's the ones in Las Vegas? So at some point I was like, well, I'm either going to be the change or I'm just going to keep waiting for it to show up. So when I was 19, I started All Shades United. The first objective was to really just have an organization that focused on just us coming together, which that's what it's still about. But as my mind evolved and I got more knowledgeable about what was really going on as far as the system that we're trying to go up against, the objective started to expand. I said, it's time to expand this opposed to just being just something that's us coming together, but make this about solidarity amongst all ethnicities and actually be politically about what we want and how we want to dismantle white supremacy. So that's when the mission started to really take off, and the more I just started to learn and study, All Shades just grew and flourished. So basically, All Shades United is a revolutionary solidarity organization. So we believe that there are two groups, the oppressed and the non-oppressed. Those who are of color are oppressed, and those who are not, who will be white, are not oppressed. So in today's time, speaking, neither one of those groups have chose that position. So we of color then choose to be oppressed, and those who are not of color then choose to not be oppressed. But the fact of the matter, it is what it is. So we feel either at some point we're going to work with each other, or we're going to continue to not work with each other. So I believe in unity, and I believe that solidarity basically means that we're working within each other. So we have a diverse culture living in Las Vegas. Everybody's around each other, we're integrated, but we don't work with each other. Still everybody doing their own thing. And I feel that if we're all being impacted by the system, even poor whites, how powerful it will be if we all team up together, you know what I'm saying? And truly, as a unit, overthrow the system. But with All Shades, we put a twist. So you have a lot of organizations that are about unity, but they're more like all lives matter, colorblind groups. We don't believe in that. We believe in seeing people for who they are, and each individual shade should be ran by that shade. So if there is a Black Power or Black Lives Matter protest, we should see those who are black at the forefront. If there's Native American protest for Standing Rock, we should see Native Americans at the forefront. Solidarity means us coming as a community behind them, asking what do they need, where's some way we can help out. Another example was in Seattle when they had the protest, Black Lives Matter protest. About 300 white people surrounded themselves, made a human wall, and they knew that by doing that, the police wouldn't be as aggressive with them because they were white. So that's what I mean by being having solidarity, actually like stepping in for each other. If one member of the family is under attack, then it's your obligation to get involved. We believe if you are white, you have even more of an obligation because you are literally benefiting from what we're trying to go up against. So we feel that in order for us to dismantle that system, we have to have each individual shade or branch, we like to call it, being controlled by that branch and by that shade, but work with each other. So see what do the Hispanic community need, what some things they need in the community that me as a black person can assist with in the Asian community, and vice versa. So that's basically what All Shades United is about. Solidarity.
That's really amazing. I'm really ever since I met you, really been impressed by your perspective and everything, in the ways that you've really moved in terms of organizing and creating that group, and your thought process behind it, I think is really, really important, and something that a lot of folks and a lot of our viewers can be inspired by. And so with that, so kind of what are your processes in terms of getting organized? There's meetings, there's, can you talk about kind of the work that you do, that your organization does?
So we consider ourselves revolutionary. So people hear revolution, they think it's like an ugly word, or they think violence, or they think a war. But a war is basically having two different groups going against each other. Revolution is gaining the minds and the participation of the masses of people. So we feel no matter what your platform is, you can be a revolutionary. So if you are a teacher and you know most of the history books that you're teaching that 80% of it is false, then your job will be to start correcting that and stop saying that Christopher Columbus could discover America. You start saying, well, look, this book says this, but the truth of the matter is it was already people living here. So we believe that we have been called to be revolutionary. So with our organization, everything we do is a revolutionary work. And we believe that you can do revolutionary work, but that doesn't mean you're revolutionary. So we believe as you do the work, you have to have the mindset. So some people, they go out and they call it feed the homeless. They give food to the homeless. Okay, that is a revolutionary act. But when you start pulling out your phone, recording it, taking pictures, and saying, "Oh, you see me? We out here feeding the homeless," then that's when you have completely put a hold on being a revolutionary, because now you're starting to exploit them, and you're doing it for a pound a bag, and you know it just falls to so many levels of capitalism, and you know you spending money because you want it to be seen. So we believe as revolutionaries, that is a great sign of revolutionary work, but the mindset has to be there. So we believe in having people who can speak to the people to get us to heighten the contradictions and to expand our minds. So any way we have, or any platform we have, we try to take full advantage of it. So protests, rallies, discussions, meetings. We have political education classes we do within All Shades. We go out into the community to serve. We have a moment where we just talk to the people we're serving, because it's not a charity thing. And we start with the education. So we start by putting a hold on certain words and phrases. So we don't say homeless. We believe that homeless is a derogatory term. We know when we say it, we don't mean harm, but this capitalist system has made that it's a dirty word. It's he's a homeless man. It's like people cringe when they say the word homeless. So we try to not even say anything on that term. We just say the person was in need, or the sister standing right, describe the person. As far as the last call for alcohol, we have to describe, because sometimes you may have to, then we use the term a person without a home, or people without homes. But that's like the last resort if we have to say, well, what group do you guys specifically serve? And we say, well, most of them are people without homes. We don't ever say homeless or bum, or these are terms that are used to degrade people. And if you see in Las Vegas, there are 10,000 people on the street that's without homes, and they don't get assistance. And it's because we view them as subhuman. And a lot has to do with the terms we use. If we start using terms that's more loving, that's more powerful and loving, then that's going to get us to see them as people. But when you start calling them bums and homeless and all the other derogatory terms, then you're just going to view them as that. So we like to say just the sister, the brother, or whatever race they was. But when you start putting a title on them, because if somebody doesn't have a job, you're not going to say the jobless, or the person with has a home, you don't call them the person with a home, or what I'm saying. So why does it have to be the homeless person? And a lot of times, people who not even on the street get called that term, just because they may not be dressed what you could consider is decent. So we feel that's a term that we have to get rid of, and that's a capitalist term. And that's a reactionary term. So we stop using that. We don't say feed the homeless. We don't use the term feed. We say serve, because we're servants. So we believe that using certain words helps to not only expose how this system is oppressing us, but it brings more of an uplifting feel. When we say we're going to serve the people, it sounds better than we're going to feed the homeless, opposed to us being like at a soup kitchen, and what I'm saying, we got on hairnets, and it's a charity thing. Afterwards, we get them a piece of paper with some volunteer hours. That's not what it is. So with us, it's about serving, and we believe that serving is loving. So we stop using certain terms, and we don't use terms like what is it, homeless, feed. Just mostly stuff like that, sometimes the police, when they do acts that we feel is unjustifiable, we call them pigs. So we believe that you have to call it how you see it, and until you address it for what it is and use realistic terms, realistic realities, then it's going to continue to manifest. So within All Shades, it's about revolution. So any way we could change things to make it better, that's what we try to do. So we have a program called the Lean On Me Project. We go into the community twice a month to serve the people, food, clothes, toiletries, serving work. So people say volunteer, we say servanteer, because volunteering, once again, is another term of a charity act. We're not people that do charity work, we're revolutionaries. So we believe in serving. We also have another program called the Hydrating the People. This is a weekly program. We go out into the communities all through Las Vegas and give out free bottles of water, face towels, and fans. And the reason why we have these survival programs, we call them, is because like Minister Huey P. Newton said, who was the co-founder of the Black Panther Party, he said having and I'm paraphrasing, having a platform is good, but you have to have a program. And if you don't have a program, it doesn't have any substance. And a lot of organizations that have meetings and they're doing different workshops and conferences, charging money, and all that is fine. We need that as well. But what are you doing for the people? At the end of the day, after you got done speaking for 2 hours and you took people's money and everybody leave motivated, for the person that could not afford to come, what do they have to have? So we believe, in having some type of program. And we believe that revolutionaries belong in the community. Hollywood people belong in Hollywood, and stars belong with stars, and people who are of the community belong with the community. So we believe having a program. So we created Lean to Me Project on March 24th of 2016, and 100 people of this year. And basically that's what we do. So it's a 365 thing we do. We host numerous programs and events throughout the city. We did one, which is the second annual, was coming up in November. It's called Thanksgiving with the People. We rented out a restaurant and opened the door to the whole community and gave them Thanksgiving dinner. And the money that we raised was through a GoFundMe. So we do a lot of GoFundMe work because we're not a non-for-profit, so we're not state-ran, state-funded, none of that. Everything we do in the community comes from the donations of the community and within the organization at our own pockets. So we host memorials and protests, and any opportunity we have to bring people together is what it's about. And not only that, if we don't host, we support. We try to send people to support other activities, because what we do within All Shades is not an All Shades program. People say, thank you for this event. It's not an All Shades event. It's a people's event. We don't even take credit. People say, thank you guys for organizing this. We say we hosted it, but we didn't organize it. To organize it takes a group effort. We didn't tell people to go share it and to invite people and to bring people and to calm themselves. So that takes a unity effort. And we don't believe in having one person to get all the shine, and because that's divisive. We want to build a community. We have to be equal with this. But when you start separating certain people and saying you're the leader, he's the leader, she's the leader, they're the ones running the show, then you make people feel who are not in All Shades or who are not the so-called leader feel that they're not just effective. So we believe that everyone is a leader. Everyone plays a role in any protest, any action. Even if you're in Seattle and the protest is in Chicago and you share the video, and then your people who didn't know that about this season, you play a role in that too. So we believe that organizing takes community effort. Now, to mobilize just means people just coming out there, but to organize is strategic. It's a lot of mobilization going on, but organization means you get people to come out. You're going to basically heighten and expose certain contradictions. You're going to expose certain things that's oppressing us, and then you're going to leave them with something. Get them involved, exchange information, give them flyers on community events, find ways to build as a community. It's not just about coming out there protesting and just being heard, but then at the end of the day, you leave them just like, where they came in.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the really impressive parts about, what you do is, for me, not just you, but your organization and the folks that really help you run everything, your leaders within that organization. I think what really impresses me about it is I feel like, especially me kind of ingratiating myself more and more with more activists lately in the last few months, and really as of about December of last year, but then I went to that conference, right, where it's like all activists from all different organizations, and it's interesting to me because I hear a lot of this, well, okay, you can organize a protest, but what are you really doing to help people? What are you really doing to help the communities that really are in need? And that's where I'm really impressed by the work that you do, because you don't just organize a protest. You have substance behind what you do, and you have substance in how you help the community, and you help the communities in realistic and practical ways. So I think that's fantastic.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. So if folks want to get involved, even if how would they get involved with the organization, or how could they find out about contributing to your GoFundMe pages? How could folks get in contact with you?
Well, we have a Facebook page, which is All Shades United, and we also have a website, which is allshadesunited.com. Right now it's still being revamped and being shaped up again, but you can still go in there and check some things out. And we also have a Twitter, which is All Shades United. And the GoFundMe is allshadesunited.com/GoFundMe.com. And I'm also on Facebook as well, Stretch Sanders. And then Instagram, _official_stretch. And then Twitter, _Stretch Sanders. So we have ways that we're out there and you can reach us. And as far as if you're in Las Vegas, as far as being local, you can't miss us. We try to stay in the community. We try to keep our ear to the ground and stay amongst the people. So if you ever run into me, just you think about joining, or some people, because a lot of times people think that it's about us recruiting. If you notice, we don't even go hard about this is All Shades joining, because for us, it's not about joining All Shades United. You know, we believe in quality. You know, I see a lot of organizations that are huge in size, but them themselves will tell me that, you know, they just wish that there was a better quality of people that was involved or more dedicated. So with us, we're a small organization, but as far as the spirit that we have are huge. So we don't get caught up in trying to build an organization. We're trying to build a community. We're trying to uplift the people. We're not worried about having All Shades numbers, because if it's 100 of us, but then the community ain't growing, then what good is that? So we rather have a thriving community and have 3 members in All Shades. So, you know, some people may not want to join the group, but they may want to support the work. So you can always catch us basically 2 Sundays a month on Main and Owens at 6 p.m. Right now, normally winter time is 3, but right now it's kind of hot, so we try to go when that sun is down. So 6 p.m. and we're out there Main and Owens, D Street and Bonanza. We go to Hunter Circle Park and Sir. Hydrating people, we go to the Marble Manor neighborhood on the west side, MLK and Lake Mead. So you can't miss us. But All Shades United is the website, and also on social media as well. So you want to get involved, just come to us in open arms.
Excellent. I did wanted to ask you if you had any upcoming events other than, of course, the work that you do in terms of helping folks out there in the community. Do you have any other upcoming events that you'd like to announce here on the show?
Yeah, so we're having a march against the Las Vegas Metro Police Department protest, which will be August 5th at 6 p.m. I think we said it before, at 6 p.m. on MLK and Cary. So MLK and Cary is like, so it's a legendary spot because we're one of 25 cities with a Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. statue, so we try to take full advantage of that. And most of the events we do as far as actions are held there. So we're going back once again. This time it's going to be a march. We're going to march down from MLK and Cary to probably maybe what Doolittle Park. But the point of the protest is to bring attention and awareness to the lynching of Anthony Garrett, who was 16 years old, who was basically executed in his home by the Metro Police, and to also bring more attention to the lynching of Tashee Brown Farmer, and to bring, you know, the light that kind of shaded back to life of the lynching of Keith Childress Jr. and all the victims of police terrorism. So whether you live in Chicago or not, this protest is for you as well, but it's also to mainly specifically focus on our police department, to put them on notice and say, hey, you killing us and y'all getting away with it, and, you know, and to also put the city officials on notice, you know, the mayor, anybody involved, and say, you know, you will hear us. You know, I know a lot of times they're trying to get us to sit down with the police, and, you know, we're not interested in that. We're interested in getting justice. So if you want to sit down with us, sit down with these families and explain to them what you did. You know, meeting with us is pointless. You know what I'm saying? But we do want to, at the end of the day, we want them to know that we see what you're doing, and you're not going to continue to harass us. And we also want to make it clear that when we have these type of protests against the police and the government, we're not anti-government, and we're not anti-America, we're not anti-USA and anti-police. We're anti-oppression, and we're anti-white supremacy. And we feel that if these are the groups and entities that are participating in that, then we are against you, but we're not against you as you. So for example, Officer Johnson, I have no problem with him, you know, because people say, my uncle's a cop, that's fine. My father's a cop. So I come from a police officer in Chicago, so I'm not against police as individuals. We're against the system. See what I'm saying? It's a systematic problem. The rule book, the syllabus, all of that these officers are studying is being implemented by something bigger than them. So I cannot get mad at you and say, I hate police officers. I love everybody. But at the end of the day, we're going to love you enough that we're going to let you know when you do wrong, you will be put on notice. And that goes to anybody. You don't just do wrong and get away with it. If I went out and killed somebody, shot somebody, I'm going to be in prison. Not at home on paid leave and on vacation. So it's going to be August 5th. It's a Saturday at 6 o'clock on MLK and Cary. I think it's 2428 North Martin Luther King Boulevard. We invite everyone to come out if you're in Las Vegas. So if you're in the West Coast area, drive down, because at the end of the day, we want this to people understand that injustice anywhere is a justice everywhere. And that's a Dr. King quote. And it's so relevant to today, because in order for movements to grow, we have to link with all states, you know. And this is not just a Vegas problem. This is a problem that's been going on, globally, you know, because my focus is not just in America. My focus is all over, because those who corrupted this country was not from here. Mm-hmm. So, you know, we gotta tackle the whole world, and that's what we're trying to get with right now. We trying to pull the strings together in America, but eventually there will be all shades in Africa, all shades in Brazil, all shades in Cuba, and everywhere. So we invite everyone to come out and join us as we bring awareness. We're going to have the families of these victims in attendance. other anti-police terror organizations in attendance, churches, any faith groups. It's our time to come together as a community and to get behind these families and let them know that, you know, that we're with you and we stand in solidarity with you.
Absolutely. That's I think you've inspired our viewers and motivated some folks to hopefully get involved, and hopefully you'll see some new faces at your upcoming events because of because of being able to talk about it here on the show today. I really hope and believe that. So if you would like to get in touch with Stretch and get involved with any of the events that he talked about, or even just support any of the GoFundMe work that they're doing in terms of helping communities here in Las Vegas, please make sure to reach out to him on Facebook. As of course, this has been another wonderful interview here on The Guy Dawson Show of WCOBM.com, and we're wrapping up another Thursday. We hope to see you next Thursday, and thank you for joining us.